very, very vague point that I wanted to make is that oftentimes people say, I'm going to leave this relationship to focus on myself. What do you know to focus on if you don't have that person holding you accountable to tell you what to focus on? So now you back in this 360 of a loop doing the same exact thing in the next relationship after the next relationship, and you're still blaming that same person or the other person when it's in all reality is you, because you're not sticking to the script.
When relationships fail, do women blame themselves more than men do?
How will we know? I'm not a man. I can only think for myself.
I think they.
How much of the blame do you normally take in a relationship, family, in your brain? Like when you do a self-reflection, how much of that is your fault?
I mean, I'm going to review my account. Well, one, why are we even getting to that stage to begin with? But to answer your question, yeah, I'm going to do a self-reflection and say, okay, I'm going to review the situations that could have been handled better. Was it communication, compromise, things of that nature? But I mean, were we actually compatible? Was this person just bought here just to show me what I needed? But I at the same exact time, I can't measure that because I can't sit here and make a comparison to what he's thinking if I don't know. Have you
ever thought to yourself, this is 100% my fault? If I wouldn't have done this, then we would still be together?
Absolutely not. Not 100%. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It is certain, don't get me wrong, in certain situations, I could have probably taken 100% accountability. However, I'm going to communicate that. I'm not at that point in my life where I can't use my words as a grown person. Like, I'm not. I can use my words. I can communicate very clearly with you of what's happening, what's going on. So
I think that
like my fault, no, because I know that I'm talking, I'm communicating, I'm making compromises. And it's not even just the communication, it's because communication is in one ear, out the other. I could sit here and tell Keish all day, yada, 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 but did she actually comprehend what I said? I could do the same thing with you. Did you comprehend? Are you willing to make a compromise? Are we willing to be consistent in this theory here? So if I communicated all things across the board, no, I'm not taking 100% accountability.
Is there any? Would you say any man would try and say? Would you say any man would try and say that you are 100% responsible? Like,
absolutely not. There's absolutely not one man that I've ever dated in my life, from my experience, that say, "Oh yeah, Toya is 110% at fault for this one." Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So we need to have a sit down because I need to know. Because that I need that constructive criticism in order to grow. So,
and if he did think that she was 100% at fault, he didn't verbalize it. Like you said, if I don't know, I can't correct what I don't know. So like I agree with her. I will say, after every relationship, I've probably spent time reflecting on my role and what happened and what didn't happen, and yeah.
And what do we learn from this? Like, okay, right. And this is also a very, very big point that I wanted to make is that oftentimes people say, I'm going to leave this relationship to focus on myself. What do you know to focus on if you don't have that person holding you accountable to tell you what to focus on? So now you back in this 360 of a loop doing the same exact thing in the next relationship after the next relationship, and you're still blaming that same person or the other person when it's in all reality is you, because you're not sticking to the script. You're not following through on what you're supposed to be doing, because oftentimes it's seen as nagging. She's doing this, she's doing that. It's no, baby, I love you, I care for you. However, what I will say for women, we have to at times work on our delivery. Ask that man how he wants this information to be delivered to him. What does this look like for you, so that I'm making the best approach so that we are successful in this time frame. And if it still doesn't work out, then Negro, we just wasn't compatible. And that's just what it is. I
think sometimes too, people wait too late, like you said, to verbalize it throughout the relationship. And I think I always tell stories if people don't know. But when I was married, once I was divorced, I asked my ex-husband, and I asked for the divorce, but I asked the question of, what do you think contribute to just our relationship failing? And I didn't even know, but we had the same answer. He told me first it was communication. And then I agreed. And I was like, because I had always been the person who bottled it all up. So, and never spent time like saying, hey, can we talk about this? I just used to think or hope that it would be better, or try to do something to assume that he would get it. No. So, yeah.
And lack of communication kills a relationship. Everyone's walking around on eggshells. Oh, I don't want to piss her off. First of all, if my man ever had to say to anybody, it's embarrassing. This, oh, I don't want to do this because I'm gonna piss her off. What? You better come to me and say something. That's utterly ridiculous. Yeah.
Can I ask a question for the men? To M. White's point, have you ever been in a relationship with a woman where it was 100% her fault that y'all broke up or stopped dealing with each other? And if so, what was the number one reason why it was like, nah, she cut. I've been on my P's and Q's. Homegirl, not it.
I'd love to hear that.
Yeah, if I caught you, if I feel like you told me a lie or you finessed me in some type of way, then yeah, I'll be like, you had it, but I feel like that was a lie. You was intentionally trying to deceive me, and I just can't trust you moving forward based off of that. But I will say most of the time it was my fault specifically. But if I felt like you was a nag, or I felt like just your energy wasn't right, or you was like, I distanced myself from that shit, or if let me think.
Did you think distancing was helpful? Like, why didn't you communicate that with her?
When I'm saying distance, I mean like I'm leaving, like I'm not about to be fucking with you no more.
It doesn't matter, but you could have. Why didn't you communicate that with her?
Because I'm not trying to convince nobody not to be a nag.
I think but you're using the wrong seat. It's simple communication. Is, babe, I need to talk to you. Is this a safe place for me to express how I feel right now without interruption, without cursing, without being put down, without being berated, anything of that nature? You decided, oh, F this, I'm leaving.
Yep, absolutely. And I will in the future too, if I ever was single again, because
now do you see what I mean? You are making my point as to versus you don't have anybody to hold you accountable. So you just say, I'm just going to leave and I'm going to keep the same loop going on and on. You're going to be the next Melissa Ford. You might as well put on your suit and sit right next to her, because you're going to do the same exact thing over and over and over until you're old. And then you're like, oh, when I look back, I should have talked, when you could just do it right then and there. Right then and there. It's too many of us that we keep butting heads or walking and tipping toeing around each other for no reason. When you could just come to me and talk. What made her just so non-approachable for you not to be able to go talk to her? Why did you even choose her or stay with her if you felt as though you couldn't even talk to her? That's utterly ridiculous.
All right, so I've been with my wife 16 years, and we don't be having these issues. What I'm talking about is the spirit and the energy, right? Any like an argumentative woman, it's just not for me. It don't mean you're a bad person. It's just not for me. If you like a woman that's determined to hold me accountable, she can go hold somebody else accountable, and that's her choice. It just don't fit well with my energy. That's all I'm saying. I'm not about to try to convince her to be the type of person I like. If you don't have the intangible discern, oh my God, can I get it out? Y'all want to argue with me?
I don't want to argue with you.
Right, let me let y'all have it. I'll be quiet. I'll mute up, and then
finish what you were saying. It was getting good because you got 16's worth under your belt. Keep going.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not trying to fight you to be somebody you're not. I'll definitely tell you about the issue if you ask, or on the way out I'll tell you. But what I'm saying is there's certain key components for me specifically when I was looking for a woman that I was avoiding of, and argumentative is one. I don't like to argue with people. You want to sit here and argue with me? How do I get to the resolution? That's the way my mind works. And if the resolution is getting away from you, that's the resolution. I don't want to spend my energy thinking about how not to engage in this because it's draining. I'm like an empath, so I can feel and sense damn near everything. And an argumentative person drains my life force from me. It just sucks out of me, and not in a good way. You know what I'm saying? I only want the good way. The life force drainer that I'm happy about, not the one that got me looking at you shaking my head like, oh hell no, this ain't it. You know what I'm saying? Now,
a disagreement. How do y'all talk about it?
You say what?